The first improvement I would like to make is to see the executive committee present a quarterly report to Senate of all of the things that Senate has done over the quarter. We meet every 2 weeks approximately, and we vote on things, and we give money, we make changes, and then those things kind of disappear into the past. They're on the minutes, but if the senators could see every quarter exactly what was voted on, where the students' money went, and then those senators can show that directly to their constituents, and that way SGA's actions are completely transparent. You can see where your money goes, and if you have a question or a concern, you can talk to your senator and say, this line item right here, I don't understand why that money went there. And they can bring that to Senate if they don't understand what happened. And I've stated before that I'd like to meet with all of the different constituencies at least once a quarter. And so if they have questions or concerns, they know that I would be there to talk to them about these problems. I'd also like to meet with all of the clubs, or at least club presidents, because SGA's policies and finance policies, they should understand those so they can get what they need out of SGA, because if the clubs aren't happy, then SGA isn't doing their job. And if they can understand their policies, then they can get the right budget and they can do all of the events that they would like to do. And so that would really improve kind of the interactions with SGA and make sure that we work together as a team instead of SGA does one thing and the clubs try and get things and it's confusing. So if we can work together, it'll really create a lot more transparent of a student government.
Thanks, Correll. Bryan?
Okay, so I think that too often committees that are put into power, they take the approach that, well, if my constituents or the student body want their voices heard, then they need to make that effort to have their voice heard and to voice their opinion. Yeah, I would just generally disagree with this ideology. There needs to be some effort on the constituents' part, but I mean the sole purpose of SGA, in my opinion, is to get the opinion from the student. We need to figure out how we can get to that student on a personal level and get the opinion out of them. It's not just that we should listen to just club presidents or just the people who are actively looking for emails from SGA to respond to. We need to make sure that every student feels like they can affect change and that they can make things happen in this community. I think we need to make the minutes more public and maybe even do monthly summaries of the minutes that highlight key factors so that people who don't have a lot of time to read the entire minutes can just go and see the highlights and make informed decisions based on that. I also think we could do a better job maybe recording important SGA meetings or events and putting them on a YouTube channel, or just really recording any sort of important event on campus, putting it in one central place so that every student, if you miss something, you don't feel like you've actually missed it. You can go and revisit it, see exactly what happened, and make your own decisions rather than having someone else give a biased summary of sorts.
Thanks, Brent. Nick?
All right. I think the main thing that needs to be improved is the empowerment of the senators. As a president, you're not going to have time to go door to door and ask every person what they want. I mean, you have 40 senators at your disposal. I think the senators need to be given the tools to effectively communicate with their constituents. A lot of senators, they get in the job and they don't know how to ask 75 people for one opinion. So if we teach the senators how to be senators and how to effectively do their job, then it's all going to go right up the ladder. Because if they know what they want, then I'll know what they want. It's not reasonable for one person to do all that. You have to empower all of your senators. I mean, at the same time, if those senators are informing all the constituents, then a lot of issues are going to go away. I think also that students need to be made more aware of the tools they have available to them. I don't know how many of you guys know, but if you go on the SGA website, you can pull up any meeting minutes dating all the way back to 2002. It's all up there. I mean, it's at your fingertips, and a lot of students just don't understand that. At the same time, all the senators are online. I mean, they just need, it's one website. You go on there, almost any information you need. The president's contact information, treasurer, senator listing. I think if the students understood that it's all right there, then it would take care of a lot of problems. And then the last thing I would like to see improved is the communication with the clubs. I would like to see every club, at the end of every quarter, submit a quarterly report. Take their president 15 minutes and sit down and say what they did exactly. I mean, if you told a student, yeah, Rev has a budget of 30 grand, they're going to be like, wow, that is a lot of money. What do they do with it? If we can pull up at the end of the year a complete year summary of what Rev did, you'll be able to evaluate if that budget's really worth it. So if we have quarterly budgets, quarterly reports from every single club, we're going to know what they're doing and if it's worth our money. And I think at the end of the day, that's what the students need to decide. Is this the best use of my money?
Hey, the answer doesn't lie within like voting everyone down with formal meetings. I could also reiterate some of Addante's points on empowerment to the senators. But a few other ideas is to publish those minutes in the Rose-Thorn on whenever you have meetings, so bi-weekly basis. And also, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a Thorn contributor come to the SGA meetings and write an opinion piece on what the SGA is doing, whether it's good or bad for the reputation of SGA. I think it's good to have more opinions out there. And also, an idea that I thought of was to create an honorary membership position, perhaps for groups or organizations that really aren't represented. SAB or the RHA and like the residence life staff could be examples of those, that they could sit in on the meetings and they could talk during the meetings like a senator could, but not to vote. And I think that would really increase communication between these main groups that are organizing a lot of different activities on campus.